Good evening and welcome everyone to our Middletown Seventh-day Adventist vegan cooking class tonight. We're so glad that you've joined us. Many of you are joining each time we have a class, and we're just delighted that you're back with us again tonight. Hope you get some really fun recipes tonight that you can enjoy for picnics this summer, because we're getting right into that season. So first, before we get started tonight, let's have a word of prayer and then we'll get started with our recipes. We have 4 different things that we're going to demonstrate tonight that hopefully you can add to your menus. Let's bow our heads. Loving Father, Lord, we're so thankful for all the variety of foods that you have given us. And we're also grateful for those that come up with ideas of different ways to use them. Be with us tonight as we demonstrate. We pray that things will go smoothly and that we'll be able to honor your name as we have this program. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. We're going to be going back and forth with several recipes to start with. One of the first things we're going to work on is our barbecue chicken sandwiches. Now, we did this once before, almost a year ago in our class. We're using a little bit different recipe tonight than what we did then, which I'll just give you if you happen to watch that one. If you've never seen soy curls, we have Butler soy curls here. And what soy curls are, obviously it's a soy product. It's a meat alternative that's made by boiling and dehydrating soybeans. It is totally natural. So, you know, there's a lot of meat substitutes out there that have a lot of processing and a lot of other things in them. This is just really a pure product. It's a natural product. It's not processed faked meat. And one of the cool things about soy curls is that it takes on any flavor that you want to put with it. So tonight we'll be putting barbecue sauce with it. But it takes on that flavor, and it has a texture, once you reconstitute it, a lot like chicken. So when you use it in recipes, you can flavor it and use it in your recipes as you would strips of chicken or things. So it's a really good source of plant-based protein and a good source of fiber. They contain the whole soybean, so there's nothing left out, which is really important too. So in our recipe tonight, if you're following our cooking, and by the way, I wanted to mention too, that you can find these on the internet if you can't find them in a local health food store, but they are available there. In each package, like I have here, there's about 4 cups of soy curls. Tonight we're just going to be using 3, so I'm going to cut this open and pour out what we need. Our recipe says that we put it in hot water and soak it for 10 minutes. So that's the first thing we're going to try here. This is something that our family really enjoys. We love the barbecue chicken sandwiches, and especially that they're healthy for us. So there we go. We've got 3 cups in our cup, and I'm just going to put it in this. I didn't measure out just 4 cups of water. You can put whatever, just fill a bowl of hot water and it works just fine. But I wanted you to be able to see how you can just dump them in there, and I a lot of times will take a spoon and kind of push them down in. But if we could get one of the kitchen people to time us for 10 minutes, okay? And then we'll be changing that. While that is soaking, I'm going to work on our barbecue sauce. Now, on the recipe that I gave you that we sent out for the barbecue chicken sandwich, at the top it has a barbecue sauce. I really hadn't tried this before I sent it out. I have had such good success with this particular cookbook, and it is a good recipe. It has a lot of lemon in it, and I really prefer the Sweet Baby Ray barbecue sauce. That's a knockoff of that. That happens to be the one I'm doing tonight, but either one it's basically the same process to put it together. So if you're using the other recipe, that's just fine too. All right, so for the Sweet Baby Rays, and this did go out, right? My technology people here. The Sweet Baby Rays, the first thing that we need is 1 1/4 cups of ketchup. Now, the ketchup that I bought is one of the more healthful ones. It's organic ketchup that I got down at Whole Foods. I've already measured it out. Then we need a cup of brown sugar. I'm just going to dump that right in our pan here. I've measured that out too. And it says dark brown sugar, and I did get dark brown sugar. That's what we're using for our cookies tonight, since that's what we had. All right. Then it says a 1/4 cup molasses. I'm going to just measure the 1/4 cup molasses on top of this ketchup. Bring it up to 1.5. There's our 1/4 cup molasses. And it calls for a 1/4 cup pineapple juice. I had some frozen pineapple juice, and I just reconstituted enough to do a 1/4 cup and stuck it back in the freezer. So here we go, 1/4 cup. And last but not least, I believe we need a 1/4 cup of water. So we've got 2 cups of liquid here. And we're just going to pour that in this pan. Susie, if you would bring me a spatula, if there's one back there. A rubber spatula to kind of clean, you know. I try so hard to make sure I've got everything I need, and it seems like every time there's something that's missing. So. All right, then we need some, thank you. I have a whole raft of rubber spatulas in my kitchen, and it seems like sometimes I get them all dirty because there's such handy things. All right, next item is a tablespoon of hickory smoke. I happen to have liquid smoke here, and I already know there's just a tablespoon in here, so I'm going to dump the whole thing in. There we go. 2.5 teaspoons of dry mustard, and that's what I have in this little container. There we go. 2.5 teaspoons. 2 teaspoons paprika. Now, since I was using, it calls for smoked, liquid smoke. I happen to have smoked paprika, so I'm going to go ahead and add that too. But I know the other works. I've made it both ways. Ours will just be a little more smoky tonight. 2 teaspoons paprika. And it calls for just some garlic powder. Here's the garlic powder. And just a pinch of cayenne pepper. I'm just going to do a little bit of a sprinkle in there to give it a little bit of a bite. There we go. 1.5 teaspoons of salt. There we go. And then 1 teaspoon of black pepper. I've measured that out. I did it in my little, it's fresh ground from home. So if I can get my little bag open here. Easier said than done. So we're going to dump that in there. That's all our ingredients except for the cornstarch, and I don't think we're going to need that, so we're not going to worry about that today. Especially putting it on the, we don't want it to be too thick because we want those soy curls to absorb it. So I'm not going to put the that cornstarch in there to make it thicker, and that is optional. So it's actually a real nice thickness already. Obviously, cooking it's not going to change that much, but the recipe itself, I got that off the internet, and it doesn't doesn't have directions. But generally, it's nice to at least, I have the other recipe that I gave you, the barbecue sauce. It says to simmer it for 30 minutes. We'll simmer it for a little while, but right now we're going to just bring it to heat. I don't know if you'll be able to see. Okay? All right, how close are we getting to 10 minutes?
5 minutes more to go.
Okay, very good. I'm going to just kind of pick some things up here to put back and out of our way. One of the things that I really liked this particular sauce for, the other recipe that you have on top of the chicken recipe, barbecue chicken, it uses 2/3 cup of fresh lemon juice. I thought it was just a little bit lemony for my taste. to kind of counteract that, I looked at the other recipe and I thought, oh, well, sugar-wise and everything, how does it compare? I added another 1/4 cup sugar, dark brown sugar to it, and we liked it a little bit better. But you could play around with that. I thought, well, I could put just 1/3 cup of lemon juice and see how that works. You can always taste it as you make it. All right, this is a quick cooking little tabletop here, and it's already boiling, so I'm going to turn it down and let that just simmer for a little bit while we work with some other things. When we get our curls out, and we could probably take them out anytime, but the instructions say to fry them in a small amount of oil until dark brown. When I read that, I envisioned that they would just really turn dark brown. That's not what we're looking for. They just fry dark brown, and you just stir them so that they fry on several sides, and that's the dark brown, okay? So you'll see that when we get that going. I think we're going to go ahead and get this heating so that we can start our frying. Actually, we could start frying our onions and put the oil. I know it says to put 1 tablespoon of oil in to do the onion and everything. I'm just going to kind of guess at it. I'm sure in your kitchen you guess at a lot of things, and this is a big skillet, so we've got quite a ways here to pour it over. All right, Sue, if you would help me, this is my granddaughter, Susie. She's going to hold that over this bowl, and I'm going to pour all the water out here with the curls, and we'll just drain them right there. Actually, for another recipe that I do with these, I only drain them, I only soak them 5 minutes, so it's not terribly bad that we're just doing it a few minutes less.
Just maybe a minute short.
Okay, all right, very good. All right, our pan hopefully is heating here. We'll dump the curls in there. All right, I can hear it sizzling, so we're good to go. This should go pretty quickly. I'm going to add the onion. This is 1 small onion diced. I diced it fairly small. So I did not add salt when I made this, again, just yesterday, but you can certainly do so if you feel like it needs some. Oftentimes the barbecue sauce has quite a bit of salt in it, and you don't really need to do that. All right, I'm going to leave it there and let it just this little induction cooktop really cooks pretty. I've got it down on 1, and it's still cooking pretty heavy here. So I think we have both of these things going. Susie, if you would come up, I'm going to let you kind of watch this. Don't stir it too often, let it brown, okay? I'll just kind of say something to you when we need to do that again. In the meantime, I'm going to move things off. Thankfully not breakable. And we'll get started on our cookies over here in the meantime. And you know, Susie is a good cookie maker, right, Susie? I hope you notice that we have matching aprons tonight. Thanks to Grandma at Christmas time. So, all right, here's our recipe for the chocolate chip cookies. And I'm sorry that we confused some of you. We got this recipe when we were in business in Tampa, Florida. We had a newsletter that we sent out from our printing business, and each we subscribed to a newsletter service, and they put everything together, and then we just personalized it. They always had some celebrity recipe on the back. Well, wouldn't you know, one time they had Laura Bush submit a recipe, and she submitted this cookie recipe. I had it for years and never tried it until we moved up here. And I thought, oh, I should try that sometime. It has really become a family favorite. I don't know, very few, if any, people that taste them don't like them because they're really good, and they have kind of an unusual ingredient in it. So I'm sorry, when I sent it out unthinkingly, it was the original one that I had and it said butter. I just automatically mentally change those things and don't worry about the fact that it says butter, but I didn't mean to confuse you. Because tonight we will be using Earth Balance, which is a vegan butter, and it's non-hydrogenated. Also, it calls for eggs, and we resend it to you so that it says vegan eggs and vegan butter. So for those of you that were concerned about that, we've taken care of it, hopefully. So. All right, Susie, I'm going to let you go over here to and put the first, we like to cream our butter. We need 3 sticks of butter. Susie, if you would get those out and put them in.
3 sticks?
3 sticks, 3 full sticks. And I want to put the sugar in there first. That'll keep it from all the grease will just stick to the bowl. The mixer that I'm using tonight is my Bosch mixer that I make my bread with, and I really enjoy it. This is a big recipe. So my small one that we make cookies with a lot of times just doesn't cut it. I can do a half recipe pretty well in it, but we're doing a full recipe tonight. There's also some sugar over here. We are using, well, like I said, for the brown sugar, we're using dark brown sugar, and you can use, I oftentimes mix dark brown sugar and light brown sugar because I like medium brown sugar, and it works. Tonight we are using the dark, and then she's adding 1.5 cups of regular sugar. This happens to be pure cane sugar that I got, so a little bit more healthful. Maybe I can help you unwrap all of that butter.
Yeah.
And definitely, if you have a microwave like mine, you can, oh, thank you.
It's getting nice and brown.
Yeah, see, dark brown, that's what we're looking for. Thank you, Yvonne. Wonderful. All right. Anyway, sometimes I forget to get the butter out, the Earth Balance out, and soften it to room temperature, but fortunately, I have a microwave that softens butter, and it's just wonderful when I forget to do that. All right. Oh, we didn't get our water out here. We need our water to do our energy.
Oh, in that pitcher?
Yes. Well, it's a pitcher over there. Is it warm water?
Oh, the water that Sandy's going to get for you? She's doing it.
Right. I had asked that they would get me 6 tablespoons of this hot or warm water. Now, Yvonne, since you cook vegan a lot,
Yes.
when you mix up your fake eggs, do you do it with warm water or just cool water, or what do you do?
I really don't use fake eggs. I don't use eggs, but I guess I'll make flax eggs.
Oh,
And
okay,
that's
so
what-
you don't use the energy ones like we do. Okay.
I have it, but I haven't used it in a very long time. So
Okay, all right. It works. So is that 6 tablespoons now? Okay. Okay.
this looks yummy by
They're
itself.
telling me it's about, and you know, sometimes I find, I should show you the box. We're using Energy Egg Replacer. It just is very convenient to me. That's what I use. I've used the flax ones, never tried them in cookies. This works really well in all my cookie recipes, so I keep it around because it really makes it easy to make cookies and not have to worry about buying eggs. Sometimes it seems to me that there isn't, you know, it's only 2 tablespoons of water in this powder, and as far as I know, an egg is 1/4 cup, right?
Roughly, yes.
Roughly, so
Yes.
sometimes I add a little bit more water if you need to, but we don't need to in this recipe, so there we go. All right, I'm gonna put this in there and you can heat it up. We have a
Barbara-
little whisk here that we're gonna whisk it
Barbara, the reason why I don't use those egg, what's it called, egg what, replacer?
Uh-huh,
I'm a cookie monster,
okay.
and if I make cookies, I don't eat them all. So I just don't make cookies. I'll just eat your cookies.
I get it. You don't make cookies because you don't want your cookies in your house, right?
Right.
Tempting you.
Right.
I get it.
That's what.
All right, I think I'll go ahead and measure a few other things here while Susie is doing that. Tonight in the recipe, it calls for flour. It's just white flour, of course, when it says flour. I'm using white whole wheat flour, and I found that it works very well in this recipe. In fact, I don't know that I've found a cookie recipe that it doesn't work well. And if you haven't used it, it's so much more nutritional, has a lot more vitamins and things in it. And I looked up on the internet today because I thought, wow, what's the difference between white whole wheat and regular whole wheat flour? And believe it or not, nutrition-wise, the white whole wheat has as many vitamins as the regular whole wheat.
Wonderful.
The only difference is that it's made with a different type. It's made with white wheat. I didn't know such a thing existed. I was raised in wheat country, and I've never heard of white wheat. But apparently it's a lighter wheat, and it's ground up with the bran and the germ and everything, just like whole wheat is.
Okay.
So I've been able to use it. To me, it's a lighter. It's not quite as heavy as the
Whole wheat.
as the whole wheat, regular whole wheat. But
How does it measure up to white flour? I'm sure it just leaves white flour and regular white flour in the dust.
as far as
Nutrition.
vitamins and nutrition,
Yeah.
absolutely. And of course, it would have the bran in it.
Right.
You know, so you'd have some of that
That's wonderful.
type of thing too.
Wonderful to know.
That looks great. Let's put it in there, and if we're going to need that rubber spatula, if we could get that off of the tray, maybe.
Do I need to do anything? Am I doing it just staring?
Okay, you're doing just perfect.
Okay, good.
So I don't know if, once Tracy gets back to the camera, we're going to tip this up a little bit so you can see that basically all we're doing is just lightly browning, frying this.
Okay.
Lift it up.
Slightly browned.
Oh, you know what? We didn't put the seasoning in there. Oh dear.
Oh, we need something more.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Your tray is over there.
Go ahead and talk.
Okay. So see, it's nice, lightly browned, and we are going to be adding some more seasonings to it to give it even more of a barbecue chicken taste. Oh, we have that seasoning.
Yes, and it calls for a whole 4th cup of McKay's chicken seasoning.
Okay.
So that's what this is, and I'll show you the, oh, I should now have to go back in there. But just stir that in, and obviously, once we get the sauce in there, it'll all go very
sure,
nicely.
sure, good.
Okay, so go ahead and start this in. Okay. Poor Susie. Thank you. Oh, is that what's wrong? I couldn't figure out, while my recipes are all flying on the carpet in front of here, there's a fan that blows out here, so we're having trouble.
We need a little weight.
Yeah, we need something to weight them down. Let's scoot that down, and then we can have it over here. That'll work. Go ahead and mix it, just like we do at home. Okay, put that on. All right, put it on. We're creaming the butter and the egg and the sugar. Okay, looks like that's good enough. All right, and just use the spatula in there and so forth.
So you'll be able to repeat what you just said because of the noise.
Oh, okay. I'll repeat. We just creamed the sugar, the brown sugar, the white sugar, and the earth balance. And so, plus the egg. Those three, I mean, that's what you normally do with a cookie recipe, and I just do the same thing with this one as we go along. All right.
So Barbara, could you just eat this the way it is and it would just be
You know
hunky-dory?
what? I'm really tempted to taste it because with that chicken seasoning in there, I don't see why you
Looks
couldn't.
really good.
I bet you
Yeah,
it'd be
it does.
wonderful.
It looks really good. I mean, I don't see why you couldn't put that in salads
Right.
or like in a pasta.
Right, because you have grilled chicken salad,
Yeah.
salads with grilled chicken on top. Why not
Uh-huh.
just top it with this?
And we've got the seasoning in there. We've got
Yeah.
the onion. It should be just
Should
great.
be really yummy.
Sandy, would you look at that? Is there a jar
Push back some more. Okay.
This is the McKay's chicken style seasoning that we're using. You can find this in health food stores, but you can also get it on the internet. We happen to have a little store here in our church. If you live anywhere near Louisville, you could come and pick some up here sometime. Just call ahead to make sure that we're here. But it is there's a vegan style and a regular style. I happen to have the vegan kind right here. Of course, that's what we're using in our recipe.
And the regular is vegetarian, it has dairy in it.
It's vegetarian, but it has dairy in it. Thank you.
Yes.
I think that's just about perfect. All right. So now what we're going to do, the recipe that comes with, you know, the barbecue sauce that is with this barbecue chicken recipe, the whole recipe goes in here. Well, I measured it. It makes 2 cups. So we're going to put 2 cups of this in there. And I'm going to just turn it off. All right. Except, I better start reading my recipe. Because we have, we need to do the onions and the peppers. So I guess what we need to do is, can you get a plate or a bowl or something to put this in, and then we'll fry that. So, and get that all together. The way I've made these barbecue sandwiches before, you can do them really easy with these soy curls, because all I do is I soak them for 5 minutes in hot water. Then I put them in a pan and dump barbecue sauce on them, and just cook them maybe 10-15 minutes until it's all absorbed, and use that on the sandwich. This is just a little bit fancier recipe that you fry them and put the onion and everything. We're going to fry some onions and peppers now, which will go with it. I'll tell you what, maybe can I pick it up, maybe?
Sure. I'm almost there. Got it.
At home, I'm not quite as used to using such a big skillet. I'm just going to put about as little as possible there. I think it calls for a tablespoon of oil, and I'm pretty sure I didn't put more than that in. You know, I find, and I've probably mentioned this before, but I like to put my green peppers in first because it takes them longer to cook. I was doing this yesterday, and it just seemed like by the time I got my green peppers done, the poor little onions were brown, and I guess that's not a bad thing. But we're going to let the green peppers cook just a little bit before we put our onion in. Already sizzling for us here. And you know, the green pepper and the onion are both optional, as you see on the recipe. If you don't like those things, don't put them in. But you certainly can. Adds a little bit more interest to your barbecue sandwich. You know, when you're at the fair or in places like that, I love barbecue, and the barbecue just smells so good. Isn't it cool to know that you can go home and have a wonderful barbecue chicken sandwich, and there's no chicken in it? It's just healthy stuff that will be good for your health. All right. All right, Susie, we're going to go back and forth here again. On our cookie recipe, our next ingredient that we usually put in is the flour. Just kind of, that's pre-measured. All right, yeah, you can dump it all in, just kind of put that side in. 3 cups of white whole wheat flour. right. You want to lick that off, don't you?
I do.
All right, now we're going to measure these things. It calls for 1 tablespoon of baking powder. And if I were at home, we'd have the flour in a sifter. I usually sift it before we put it in, but I didn't want to bring the sifter and all that here, so I put a tablespoon of that in there. And this is the Rumford baking powder that doesn't have the aluminum in it. You know, I don't know if you've ever read about the baking powder that doesn't have aluminum in it. Regular baking powder that we've used for years is double acting. The baking powder without aluminum is not double acting.
Okay.
And the way it works, the double acting is that part of it works when you put the liquid in, and part of it works with heat. This works when the liquid is put in. So if you're making a cake and you're using this baking powder without aluminum, mix it up and get in the oven.
Okay, good to know.
Don't fool around. Okay, a tablespoon of soda.
Barbara, well, we got a second. I've got a couple questions that have come in.
Okay, people have been asking questions. Great.
Yes, so the first question was just simply vanilla extract. Did you mention vanilla extract earlier? Is that in your recipe?
Yes, but I
Okay.
didn't make it. I just bought vanilla extract.
Okay, can you describe what it looks like or where you get it
Okay.
or what your preference is?
Okay, my particular, I could have talked about it when we put it in, but I favor Watkins vanilla. I just feel like it has really good flavor. Obviously, you can use any vanilla on the market. We all probably have our favorites, but that's the one that I like. Okay, Suze, we need, oh dear,
When do I put onions in?
we could put them in now. And we also need some salt from the back.
Oh, cinnamon.
We need a teaspoon of salt. Yes. Go ahead and put it. It's a tablespoon of cinnamon. I usually like Watkins cinnamon too, but I don't have any right now, so we're using just regular cinnamon. That might not fit. Just these 3 of these. You know, it's really important. You got to keep in mind all your measurements. How many tablespoons in a cup? How many teaspoons in a tablespoon? Because when you have to use a different measuring, it's just really good to know those things. We're using 3 teaspoons instead of 1 tablespoon, which is all the same thing.
And Google, Siri, and Alexa will be happy to help you if you have any questions.
My
I use it
son-in-law
all the time.
says that Google, Siri, and Alexa will be happy to help you if you don't remember.
We did have one other question, Barbara.
Yes.
Stephanie asked, did you sift the flour before putting it in?
No. In my cookie recipes, and I was going to, oh dear, I'm so sorry. I was going to show you how I do measure that. Where's the spoon? Do you have the spoon for mixing the? I do, I'm coming right now. Okay, good. All right, I was just worried about that. All right, let's talk about the flour. When I grew up, all the recipes said sifted flour. They don't say that anymore, and it took me a long time to figure out why my cookies spread way out and they never were as nice as other people's cookies. I finally figured out that everybody else was not sifting the flour. When I was in college and took a foods class, our teacher showed us the difference between sifted flour and non-sifted flour as far as weight-wise. She sifted the flour, measured a cup, and weighed it, and then she just took some out of a bag of flour and weighed it, and there was a lot of difference.
Yes.
So, what I do for cookies, I stir the flour, and then as I'm putting it into the cup, I kind of lightly shake it, but I don't sift it. And that turns out really nicely for me. So, no, you don't have to sift it. There are some things I still sift for. I have an oil crust, pie crust, that is just, in my opinion, critical because you don't get too much flour in the recipe and it just comes out a whole lot better product. But in this particular one, stir and then lightly fill your cups. Works fine.
Hey, Barbara?
Okay. Yes.
I've noticed in a lot of the baked good recipes that
Uh-huh.
they have the gram measure, like kilograms. So I use a food scale.
Very
And
good.
that you'll never go wrong with the food scale.
Very
So-
true. I know King Arthur is really big on that, where
Yeah.
they'll have the number of grams.
Yes.
So if you have a good kitchen scale, all you have to do is weigh it and you don't have to worry about doing
Yep.
those things, right? So what I do too, my husband makes his own granola, and there's so many 14 cups of this and 2, and what he did is he figured out how much everything weighed. And so he just puts it in by weight now, and he finds that a lot. I haven't quite got there yet.
Okay.
But thank you for bringing that up, because that's definitely true. All right, we need to, did we get salt? Did we get salt?
I'll put the onions in here. You want the salt in here, right?
But it's okay.
Oh, okay, I thought you wanted
It said to add salt. So where's the salt? Do we have any other salt?
Yes.
Excellent. We want salt in our cookies.
Oh, I'm afraid about that. It's okay. With salt, nothing.
It's really fine. It's okay.
Okay.
It'll be fine.
Someone told me to do it.
We did.
I won't say who it was. She's behind the camera.
We're a good team here. All right, how much vanilla? Oh, it calls for 1 tablespoon. You just know, 1 tablespoon, this should be the jar right over. Here, look at it. I took it, that's right. I usually put my vanilla in when I do my sugar and my earth balance and my egg. But we didn't do that, so that's okay. It'll still work fine this way. 1 tablespoon, which is a lot of vanilla for a recipe, a little bit more.
You can't overdo it on vanilla.
That's right.
You really can't.
When you're measuring liquid in a measuring like this, a measurement, you want, because it's not a liquid measuring like the little shot glasses, but you want that to bubble up if you've got the right amount. Fill it until it just bubbles and almost goes over, and that's when you have the right amount. That's a tablespoon. Okay?
Barbara, do you want me to add this back in?
I
yet?
do.
Okay.
Yes, and right now we're going to do 2 cups of this,
Okay.
and then we'll have that all finished.
Hopefully it won't be too salty because I'm not
If it is, Yvonne, we're going to blame me because I didn't have it where I needed it to be. This is coming out to almost 2 cups also. So I think I would just scrape it in there, but the elusive spatula again. We have a marvelous dishcloth here that will dish. All right, here we go. Now, once we get this in here, we're going to cook it about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay? And the soy curls will just absorb this, and it'll be a nice, thick chicken filling for our sandwiches. All right, yes, let's go ahead and put that together. Uh-huh. Yeah, go ahead. We'll scrape this down and then run it a little bit more, and then we're going to put our oats in. I mix the flour and all the baking powder and everything in with the egg and the sugar. Then I go ahead and put my rolled oats in. We'll add after we get that worked in, we'll do the coconut pecans and the chips. And yes, they are vegan chips that I found. I think it's so cool that you can find vegan chocolate chips in regular stores, at least here in Louisville.
Yes.
Kroger carries them, and I found some at Meijer the other day too.
Yeah,
So
everybody
that's
carries.
pretty nice.
So Barbara, since this doesn't have raw egg in it, we can really eat it out of the bowl, right?
Absolutely, that's
We
what I
do.
love about that's what I love about fake eggs.
And we totally do.
We certainly do. Okay, go ahead and spread it again, so you don't have to be very careful. I have the oats, and this is Mother's Oats. This is the, not the Quick Oats, the Mother's Oats. And it's not going to be as chewy and good if you use Quick Oats.
Right.
This particular recipe needs the old-fashioned oats, or
Yes.
sometimes it's called Mother's Oats. So you're going to put that in there and then mix it in.
So good.
Okay, go ahead and mix it in. Okay, mix that a little bit. Our dough is getting thicker and thicker. All right, now, here's our nuts. I'm using pecans. I've chopped them, pre-chopped them. If you are near a Costco, I find Costco the best price on your pecans. I buy a lot of pecans there. Go ahead and put the coconut in too. This is I use sweetened coconut. A lot of you might like to use the unsweetened. I've never really warmed up to that.
With the unsweetened,
Right?
that's all I use.
Is it? Yvonne's always a step ahead of me.
Sorry.
Right. Okay, move on. All right, last but not least, here is I have Simple Truth organic, allergy-friendly, semi-sweet chocolate chips that are vegan, free from dairy, nuts, soy, and more. There's my little package. I know that there are several different brands on the market, but it's nice to be able to, I used to always have to go to a health food store to get them. It's nice not to have to.
And they're a better price too
Yes.
than the specialty
3
stores.
cups. We're gonna need.
Whole bag?
Unfortunately, the vegan ones are only 10 ounces instead of 12
12.
ounces. So we had to use 2 bags here. All right, they really smell good. And 3 cups seems like a lot, but this, like I said, is a big recipe. All right, we're going to demonstrate how we put them on how we put them on the cookie sheets so that you can see that how it works. Go ahead. All right, let's tip this up and let everybody see our good cookie dough.
Give me a spoon.
Right?
It's a nice bowl full. All right, so now I have that cookie sheet over there. Let's bring it up here and see what, move some of these things out for me. Now, if you will notice that the recipe says to use a 1/4 cup per cookie. I have a nice little scoop here.
Culinary scoop.
Yvonne calls these culinary scoops. This is a cookie scoop, also known as an ice cream scoop. But I will also warn you that, yes, you can make them smaller, but they won't be chewy and nice. Try them big first. You can break them in half or cut them in 4ths.
Yeah.
But make them
big.
big because they just bake, this recipe is made to do that. So, all right, here we go. There's a nice little mound. And I'll just show you. I think that's probably about done. All right, as you can see, I mean, it is, 3 cups is generous on the chocolate chips, which is what most people like anyway, right? All right, so now we'll take this in the back, but I want to show you that I don't just leave them in a hump like that. I press them down just a little bit, and I find that they bake better that way. So put them out with your scoop, and then just to where they're about a 1/2 inch tall.
Do they
Thick?
spread?
Yes, they
Okay.
do.
Okay.
So we usually put just 9 on this. This is a big, and by the way, I'm using an air bake cookie sheet. I feel like they bake a lot nicer on one of these. They don't tend to get just dark brown around the outside and then, still soupy in the inside. They bake more evenly. I happen to have a convection oven that I bake them in, but we won't be doing that here. But I think we're going to clean all our stuff off, turn this thing off.
Yes, it's been 10 minutes, it's ready.
We're going to turn it over to you.
Okay.
We will come out later on after Yvonne finishes her demonstration. She's going to be demonstrating broccoli salad.
Broccoli cranberry crunch salad.
Oh, wow. And also
Tofu eggless salad.
eggless salad. And if they're going to have a hard time telling the difference, right?
Yes.
All right, excellent. All right. I'm going to move, because you don't need this inverter, right?
I don't need any
Heat things, right?
Yeah, I don't need any props.
We'll go back in the back and finish the cookies so that everybody here, I wish you all could be here and eat some cookies.
I really don't.
Because we don't have to share with them,
I'm
right?
glad we take as many as we can get.
I like your way of thinking, Yvonne.
All this is done. Okay.
I'm gonna take this away.
Okay.
Give me one more minute.
All right.
Do you need anything else?
Yeah, if you could bring that bottle of Mary's dressing.
Do you need this oil?
I do need that Cuisinart knife. It should be able to drain.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed the presentation so far. I'm really looking forward to, I don't want to rub it in, but I'm really looking forward to sampling Barbara's barbecue and cookies. But what I'm doing tonight is called the Company Poppy Seed Broccoli Cranberry Crunch Salad. It's a mouthful, I know. What happened was one of our church members used to make broccoli salad, and I really liked how she did it, but I don't believe she had a recipe. She was one of those people, just kind of put things together, and so I knew what I liked. I liked the broccoli, I liked the sunflower seeds, and the cranberries and toasted almonds. And so I just started developing something according to my taste. And that's what you can do if you can find a basic recipe or not. Just know, if you know what you like, you can pretty much do anything with food. So don't be afraid to experiment. If all else fails, you have your family or your friends to taste it or feed it to, and then you can try something else. But the first thing that I've done, what I'm doing right now, I'm halving the recipe because it makes so much. And so I'm doing approximately 1 pound of broccoli florets. It's not really all florets. I buy broccoli crowns, but they've really been stalking it up lately. I don't know what the deal is. So I'm getting half crown, half stalk. And the stalk, believe it or not, that's where all the nutrition truly is. And if you want to cheat with this recipe, because I had one friend who did, she purchased the broccoli slaw because all that is, it's the broccoli stalks that they have, shredded, and added some carrots to it. So yeah, they're not wasting anything. We are when we throw away the stalks. There's so much we can do with it, and this is one thing that you can do. So it's. And I'm just showing you how I did it. I just took a crown and I just kind of scored it, and I'm just cutting it down. And you do really want to break down the crown, because you don't want big pieces of vegetables in your mouth. So, you know, the coleslaw, it's shredded, and it would be awkward if you had big chunks of cabbage in your salad. So I just left this a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just roughly chopping. And you can make it as small or as large as you want. And this will go pretty fast because it's just like, it's a dump. The main work is the pre-work of breaking down the broccoli and getting all the added ingredients prepped just to dump into the bowl. So we're ready, we're good to go. So I got roughly a pound of broccoli florets. And it says a quarter of a large purple onion. So it's around really like a half cup. Green onions, it says 3 to 4, so I'm using about 2. A clove of garlic. I know, it was I guess you would say one of those elephant? No. I mean, all cloves of, well, I'm exaggerating. There were these little teeny weeny, I hate those things, so I just had to do several. And there's a clove of garlic minced. And again, I'm having the recipe, so a quarter cup of toasted slivered almonds. I usually buy my almonds raw and toast them, but for some reason the store was sold out. So I had to buy a little bag of already toasted. And toasting doesn't take any time. I just get a dry skillet and put it on a medium heat, and you just watch it, and you'll just see it kind of slightly turn brown, and it's done. Just take it off the heat. And next is a quarter cup of toasted sunflower seeds. And then next, quarter cup of cranberries, sweetened cranberries.
Do you want a bigger bowl before you mix it?
I think I probably did. I don't know if we even have a bigger bowl out there. That would be good. But I did this at home, and I did okay with it. So, and it says 1 bottle of poppy seed dressing, and I use a half a teaspoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of pepper. They said to blend it, and the only reason why I do this is I don't like clumps of salt or clumps of pepper in my salad, so I like to mix my dressing all together. And I use Brianna's. It's my favorite poppy seed dressing, but you can find or use your own favorite. It just has really good flavor. So I will do that and mix it. See how fast it goes? I think this didn't take me 5 minutes. So it's a very fast salad. Thank you. Yeah, it was going to be a little bit of a challenge. And it's, initially I'm using 3/4 of a bottle, but you can add more. I'd rather add as I go along instead of dumping and just having too much of a sauciness to my salad. So it looks like I'm going to need more. Broccoli florets absorb a lot of whatever sauce you put with it, so just be mindful of that. You may think you don't have enough, and you will, and you'll bite into your florets and they'll just kind of, your dressing will just kind of ooze out of them. So I found out that the very hard way. So this is really it. And we can just put this to the side and then we can do our next salad. I have a little special treat for you in the next salad. Okay, that's it. Let's take that away. No, I don't. Now, the next salad that let me get over here. My next salad is a tofu egg salad. And it's one of Barbara shared with me, and I did a few modifications. So this is the tofu press I talked about last time. It's called Tofuture. And what I did, you just put your tofu in it, and I put it on the first rung. There's like 3-rung little ladder, and the lower the rung, the firmer your tofu will be. And this takes only maybe 15 minutes to press it out for you. And also what I found at Whole Foods, where is that container? They sell it in a box of 4. I think it's in the sink. They haven't thrown it away. And it comes out to be roughly a little over $1 per pound. Most tofus nowadays, they used to be all 1 pound, 16 ounces per container, but the manufacturers have slowly decreased the size. So most of them now are 14.5 ounces, but this particular brand is 16. May I have a piece of towel paper, please? Thank you. It may be in the garbage, but I wanted to get a little bit more of the liquid out. But this is firm tofu, and so I learned this trick from Miss Barbara, and she uses the potato masher, and it does go a lot faster when you do the potato masher. Sorry. If you really want to, I guess, trick your friends, you can cut off maybe a little end from it and kind of slice it up like it'll be egg whites. And once you've mixed everything up, you can toss it in and just kind of fold it in, and they will not know the difference. Okay, so that took about a minute. I'm sorry, I'm gonna do the thing. So the next ingredient is the Veggies, and it's by Follow Your Heart, and I think most people have used that. And I like the one with the blue top. They come in all different flavors, and I've tried them, but this one tastes most like mayonnaise. So I stick with what I like. Could I have a spoon? Yes. It's a big spoon, just a big spoon from the drawer. Just one of those down there, like a soup spoon.
Do you want something like this?
Yeah, sorry. And so I add the Veggies. And chopped celery. Everything that I'm adding, it's about a couple of tablespoons full. You don't want to add too many vegetables because you don't want it to be it can get too soupy. And here's 2 tablespoons of green onion, and as well as 2 tablespoons of purple onion. I had used a recipe in the past, and it called for just a little bit of chopped carrots. It's almost like minced, and a little red bell pepper. And this is, all of this is one of those little teeny weeny bell peppers. It makes about 2 tablespoons of chop. 1 garlic clove, and this is roughly about a teaspoon. So, and dill pickle. It called for pickles, but I found some dill pickle relish at the health food store, so I used that. And this recipe calls for, what did I do with my dill weed? Okay, I need dill weed. But, oh, I know what I did with it. I measured it out. This is a teaspoon of dill weed, dried. The recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of turmeric, but it makes your salad gold. And if you want to really trick your friends, they'll know something's up if they see a gold egg salad. So a 1/4 teaspoon would give you that light egg color. So that's what I'm using. And last but not least, the salt is, I'm using black salt. It's an Indian salt called Kala Namak, mineral salt. And what it is, it has a very high sulfur content, and so it smells like eggs.
I've heard about it.
Yeah. And it lasts forever. I've had this bag, I've shared it with several people. I've had it for maybe 10, 15 years. So unless you use it, and it's not expensive either. So that's how you can really trick people, is when you use the black salt. Can you smell it? It's coming. And you can really play a trick on your friends if you can, spread it around where they are. So this is done. That's a bit more vegetables than most people like their egg salad, but I like a lot of vegetables, so. Maybe I'll add a little bit more. This is a little bit too bright. It almost looks like an egg white egg salad. So I'm gonna add another 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. And that should do it. So just experiment. I made it earlier this week with the 1 teaspoon, and it was actually gold. So I said, that's not going to go over.
You want to use that much, you're going to get a curried egg salad.
Right, it looked like a curried egg salad. So this should, and the more you stir it around, the more the turmeric will get its color. When you cook with it, it really releases, and really, the color really comes out. So it's starting to come out now. The more I'm stirring it, the more it's changing color. So this is it. That is your egg salad. It's a little bright, but it tastes like eggs. It does taste like eggs. And what I'm going to do, I found these in the store, because I was concerned with how to present it. I get bored with just plain old sandwiches, so I pre-sliced these. But these are like little mini pita pockets. They're real soft. They're whole wheat. So that's what I'll do. I'll stuff them in here. And because Barbara and I are going to plate together. We're going to do our whole meal together. So we'll be back out in about a minute. So does anyone have any questions? Okay.
I have one, actually.
Yes.
Are you an egg salad with lettuce sandwich person, or do you not like lettuce on your egg salad?
I do, and I meant to bring some. That's
What's
the
your
one
favorite lettuce for this?
Romaine, shredded romaine. Yeah. I like crunch. I like the romaine hearts because they have a little bit more crunch than the standard. And iceberg, I avoid it like the plague, but if it's always there, I'll eat it. So, we're done. And so we will, Miss Barbara, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All righty. So we'll be right back out with our presentation. So,
Let's take this back out there so we can show them. Bring this out.
Try to clean up so we don't have all the mess with our pretty plating here.
All right. So I've got some whole wheat buns here. You know, I love these whole wheat buns. You can get just almost at any store nowadays, and they're so fluffy and nice. It's just really nice that we can have things that are more nutritious than what we used to be able to get. I mean, everything used to be just white. It amazes me that some of the restaurants that carry the vegetarian burgers now, many times they don't put it on a healthy bun, and it just bothers me because if I'm going to have something like that, I want it on a nice, nutritious bun as well. So there we go. And we're going to put this on a plate and show you what a nice meal you would have with your barbecue chicken sandwich. And if for those that want just a egg salad sandwich of some sort, but here we go. All set to have a nice picnic meal.
we're missing one ingredient,
What is that?
component.
What is that?
Our cookie.
Oh, our cookies, the cookies are still in the oven. These ovens aren't baking them quite as fast, but those of us that are here, by the way, I would like several people, Susie, go get about 6 spoons. I want everybody to taste the 2 different sauces.
Okay.
Okay? So that people can kind of get an idea of.
We can't hear you over there.
Get the spoons, these over here, Susie. Just, it's all right. This is some of the sauce that we made tonight, the knockoff of Sweet Baby Ray's. And this one is the actual recipe that I have there with the barbecue chicken. We've been tasting it in the back, and we've all decided which one we like best. But I want the rest of the crowd here. And by the way, I wanted you to be aware that there are some health programs that are online that have been produced by our church that are just outstanding. There is one that was produced this last fall. Can we put up that? Yes, take charge of your health. The cool thing is, if you didn't watch it during the series when they were running it, now you can do it at your leisure and you can pick whichever one you want to watch. There's some about heart health, about cancer, about losing weight, about diabetes. There's just so many different topics that they have. They bring in medical professionals. They have people that talk about nutrition, some of the important things as far as nutrition and what to eat to help yourself with some of those conditions. Try looking at one. Take charge of your health, and you can find it at itiswritten.tv. I'll say that one more time. Itiswritten.tv, and then if you just look for the little take charge of your health in all the different programs and click on it, you can see the different ones. So I'll hope you look at that. There's also a lot of neat things on their website that you might be interested in, so I hope you take a look. All right, now we're going to have our tasting. Yvonne, you'll be the first guinea pig here.
Okay.
Okay, this is the recipe that goes with the, that came with kind of lemony.
Okay.
Didn't want quite that much?
No, I want to try it. No, I don't want to try anymore.
Okay, and now this is the Sweet Baby Ray's.
Much better.
a little bit spicier. So we've given you both recipes, you can take your choice, but we like it. Tracy, you want to come on up and try it? Sure. And Lou, you might as well come too. We'll all be guinea pigs here. So first, just a little bit of that, give you a taste of what it's like. That's the recipe. See, it's real lemony, right?
Yeah.
Same, no, you can use the same
Oh,
spoon.
because you're gonna spin it in, sorry.
And then here's the Sweet Baby Ray's that we made the sandwich with.
Yeah, way better.
So,
It's got better texture too. Mm-hmm. The texture and the flavors.
okay, Lou?
Very good.
Grab a spoon. I'm giving you this one first because I just, I don't want to. There you go. We'll see if anybody likes the.
No.
Try this one. The neat thing about making it yourself is that you don't have any corn syrup or anything like that in it. It's just natural ingredients. What do you think?
Yes, the Sweet Baby Ray's is just, I think you said it right, Tracy. There's a texture thing with the other one, with the first one. And I'm not a big fan of the lemony.
Yeah. That one improves if you put more sugar in it.
can see
But
that.
nonetheless, so anyway, enjoy yourselves this summer. I hope you can enjoy some of these foods because they're healthy and they're fun to eat. I just wanted to make you aware that next month, June, we won't be doing a class. The next one will be hopefully in July. We're having, the first Monday, which we usually have them, is right after 4th of July. So we're not just sure if we should try it that night, but we'll see. We will keep you posted. If you signed up, all of you who signed up, you're registered for this class, you will get emails telling you what's happening and when it's happening, and also what we're cooking for the next meal. So thank you for attending. I hope you saw something that you can use. Let's close with just a word of prayer. Loving Father, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Thank you for these wonderful foods, and pray that you will help us step by step, keep incorporating more healthful things in our diet so that we can live a full life that you intended for us to live. We praise your name. Amen. Good night, folks, and goodbye.